Today we are going to immerse ourselves in a world that challenges our understanding of the past, a world where history meets the inexplicable, the world of Uparts. Uparts, which in English means out-of-place artifacts, objects out of place in time, are archaeological pieces that, due to their technology, design or materials, seem impossible for the time in which they were found. They are objects that make us question everything we thought we knew about humanity's past, about our capabilities and about history itself. Prepare to enter a labyrinth of enigmas, where each object is a piece of a fascinating and perplexing puzzle. Number 1. The Iron Pillar of Delhi, India. Our first stop takes us to Delhi, India, home of an iron colossus that seems to defy time, the Iron Pillar of Delhi. Imagine a column more than 7 meters high and weighing 6 tons, erected more than 1,600 years ago. What makes this pillar a true Upart is its composition, wrought iron with exceptional purity, almost without sulfur. This is a metallurgical feat that, according to official history, should not have been possible for the time. The pillar has been exposed to the elements for centuries, torrential rains, scorching heat, and yet it barely shows any signs of corrosion. How they did it? What ancient technology is hidden behind this feat? Some suggest that its construction is due to advanced iron casting and treatment techniques, lost in the mists of time. Others, more daring, point to the intervention of time travelers or even extraterrestrial civilizations. Be that as it may, the Iron Pillar of Delhi still stands, challenging our understanding of the past and whispering stories we have yet to decipher. Number 2. The Nebra Disc, Germany. Our next stop takes us to Bronze Age Germany, where a mysterious bronze disc challenges our understanding of the cosmos, the Nebra Disc. Imagine a disc barely 30 centimeters in diameter with gold inlays that represent the sun, the moon, the stars, and a cluster that should not be visible to the naked eye, the Pleiades. This record, dated more than 3,600 years ago, is not only a work of art, it is a celestial map, an astronomical calendar of astonishing precision. Its sophistication is such that it has led experts to rethink the astronomical knowledge of prehistoric cultures. How could they, without telescopes or advanced instruments, capture the sky so accurately? What knowledge is hidden behind this ancient star map? Some researchers suggest that the disc was used to perform rituals related to agricultural cycles, while others consider it a navigation tool. Whatever its true purpose, the Nebra Disc transports us to a past where astronomy and religion were intertwined in a cosmic dance. Number 3. Rango Rango, Easter Island. We leave the old continent behind to enter the immensity of the Pacific Ocean until we reach Easter Island, a place shrouded in mystery and legends. Here, among the colossal moai, lies another enigma that has challenged experts for centuries, the Rango Rango. Imagine wooden tablets covered with glyphs of stylized figures that seem to dance on the surface. It is a unique writing system, the only one developed by a Polynesian culture and that to this day no one has been able to decipher. What stories do these glyphs hide? What secrets from Easter Island's past are engraved on these tablets? Some researchers believe that the Rango Rango could contain information about the construction of the moai, about the religious beliefs of the Rapanui culture, or even about its tragic end. The Rango Rango is like an open book that we cannot read, a silent testimony of a vanished civilization, a reminder that the past is full of voices waiting to be heard, of stories waiting to be told. Number 4. The Genetic Disc, Colombia. Our next stop takes us to the jungles of Colombia, where a stone disc challenges our understanding of biology, the genetic disc. Imagine a 27 centimeters diameter disc, carved with millimeter precision, which represents in astonishing detail the cycle of human life from fertilization to birth. What makes this disc a Upart is the precision with which cellular structures that can only be observed with a microscope are represented. How could they, without optical technology, capture the miracle of life with such accuracy. Some researchers suggest that the disc was used for educational purposes to teach about the human reproductive cycle, while others, more daring, point to the possibility that this disc is proof of the existence of an ancient civilization with advanced knowledge in genetics. The genetic disc of Colombia is an enigma that reminds us that life, in its essence, is a code, a language that we are still far from understanding in its entirety, a code that repeats itself over millennia, connecting us with our ancestors. More remote. Number 5. Byong Stones, China. Our search for Uparts now takes us to the remote Byong Mountains in China, where we encounter a geological mystery that defies all logic: the Byong stones. Imagine a series of hollow pyramidal structures, formed by metal tubes that go into the earth. What makes these structures a Upart is their age, estimated at more than 150,000 years, a time when, according to official history, humanity had barely begun to master fire. Who built these structures? For what purpose? The theories are as varied as they are surprising. Some speak of an ancient advanced civilization that inhabited the earth long before us, while others point to the possibility that it is an ancient astronomical observatory. The Byong stones are a challenge to our understanding of the past, a reminder that there are still many mysteries to be solved on this planet, a place where reality seems to merge with science fiction. Number 6. The Candelabra of Paracas, Peru. We return to South America, this time to the Peruvian coast, where an enigma carved into the rock awaits us: the Paracas Candelabra. Imagine a giant geoglyph more than 180 meters high that represents an anthropomorphic figure with its arms outstretched, as if holding two torches. What makes the Paracas Candelabra a Upart is its strategic location, visible from the sea for kilometers away. Who built it? For what purpose? The theories are diverse. Some consider it a landmark for navigators, a sign to indicate the route to dry land. Others, more daring, relate it to the figure of the god Viracocha, the creator god of Inca mythology. The Paracas Candelabra is a lighthouse in the fog of time, an enigma that reminds us that the past is full of hidden messages, signs waiting to be interpreted, a mystery that invites us to look at the sky and ask ourselves, are we alone in the universe? Number 7. The Egg of NAA, United States. Our last stop takes us to the Nampa Mountains in the United States, where a small object sparked a great controversy: the Nampa egg. Imagine a clay figurine barely 4 centimeters high that represents a woman with well-defined facial features. What makes this object a Upart is its location. It was found more than 30 meters deep in a geological layer that is estimated to be millions of years old. How do I get there? The Nampa egg has been the subject of debate since its discovery. Some consider it proof of the existence of a human civilization much older than previously believed, while others call it simple fraud. Be that as it may, the Nampa egg reminds us that the history of humanity is a still incomplete puzzle, with pieces that do not fit together and that force us to rethink everything we thought we knew. Number 8. California, United States, is a place known for its rich history and cultural diversity. In 1911, a discovery was made that perplexed scientists and archaeologists around the world: the sword of Isi, the last member of the Yahi tribe. This discovery was not only surprising for its rarity, but also for the questions it raised about the abilities of Native Americans. This man, living like his ancestors in a time of transition and change, possessed a steel sword. The most surprising thing is that this sword seemed to have been forged with advanced techniques that were not thought possible for the time and region in which Isi lived. The sword, almost a meter long and with an impeccable edge, did not correspond to the technology of the Native Americans of the time. Compared to other historical artifacts, Isi's sword seemed out of place and out of time, generating even more intrigue among researchers. How did it come into Isi's hands? This question has baffled historians and archaeologists for more than a century. Was it a gift, an exchange, or something more mysterious? Carbon dating tests have failed to determine the exact age of the sword, adding another layer of mystery to this enigma. Scientists have tried several techniques, but none have provided a definitive answer. Some believe that Isi's sword could be evidence of transoceanic contact much earlier than history books tell us. This theory suggests that explorers from other lands may have arrived in North America much earlier than previously thought, bringing with them advanced knowledge and technologies. Be that as it may, Isi's sword remains an unsolved enigma. This mysterious artifact continues to fascinate all those who study it, reminding us that there is still much to discover about our past. Number 9. Our next destination takes us to England. In 1852, in a quarry near Tode, a group of workers unearthed a hand axe embedded in a block of lino stone, more than 30 million years old. The axe, made of chert, had a design similar to that of other Neolithic axes. Some researchers suggest that the Wedgewood Axe could be a forgery, but others argue that the technology to create such an elaborate forgery was not available at the time. Is it possible that an advanced civilization existed on Earth much earlier than we think? The Wedgewood Axe remains an unsolved mystery. Number 10. Our next stop takes us to Dorchester, United States. In 1852, during the construction of a church, a controlled explosion brought to light an unusual object. Among the rubble, workers found 2 sheets of zinc-silver alloy, a material that requires a complex casting process. The plates, about 15 centimeters long, have engravings with an unknown writing. Some researchers have tried to decipher it, relating it to ancient Phoenician alphabets, but without success. Who created them and for what purpose? The Dorchester Plates remain an unsolved enigma. Some believe they could be evidence of transatlantic contact long before Columbus arrived. Number 11. The Stones of Ika, a catalog of ancestral knowledge. We now travel to Peru, to the Ika region, where we find one of the most controversial Uparts, the Ika stones. These stones have been the subject of fascination and controversy for decades. These precisely carved stones depict scenes that seem to contradict our understanding of the story. Picture this: thousands of andesite stones engraved with scenes showing early men using telescopes, performing complex surgical operations, and even interacting with dinosaurs. These images challenge our perception of the capabilities of ancient civilizations. The Ika stones were made known by Dr. Javier Cabrera Darquilla in the 1960s. Cabrera, a doctor and passionate collector, dedicated much of his life to studying these stones. Cabrera created a collection of more than 15,000 specimens, suggesting that the stones are proof of an advanced civilization before ours. According to him, these stones could rewrite history as we know it. However, the scientific community is skeptical, considering that they could be an elaborate fake. Many researchers have argued that the stones were created in modern times to deceive collectors and the public. Are the Ika stones a legacy of a lost civilization or a simple modern fake? The controversy continues as more studies are carried out. The truth behind these mysterious stones remains elusive, leaving many wondering about the true origins of these fascinating artifacts. Number 12. Our next stop takes us to Mexico, to the state of Mexico, where we find an Upart that has generated an intense debate, the Head of Taxicca. In 1933, during excavations in Calixtlahuaca, a small ceramic head was discovered with features that do not correspond to the pre-Hispanic cultures of the region. The head, barely 6 centimeters high, presents a face with clearly Caucasian features, with almond-shaped eyes, an aquiline nose and a trimmed beard. Its style is reminiscent of Roman sculptures from the 2nd century AD. How did this object arrive in Mexico in the pre-Hispanic era? Some suggest trans-Pacific trade routes of Roman explorers in America. However, the scientific community is cautious, considering the possibility of a modern forgery. Number 13. We now enter the steppes of Kazakhstan, where an Upart awaits us that seems straight out of a science fiction movie, the Shaar statuette. A small ceramic figure, barely 15 centimeters high, represents a humanoid being dressed in a suit reminiscent of those of modern astronauts. The statuette, discovered in 1997 near the town of Yenpar, features details such as a helmet with a visor and a tight-fitting suit. Carbon-14 dating places the age of the statuette around the 8th century AD. Some suggest it could be a representation of a deity or protective spirit, while others speculate the possibility of extraterrestrial visitations in the past. Number 14. Our last stop takes us to Iraq, to the ruins of the ancient city of Ctesiphon, one of the most important cities in ancient Mesopotamia. Here we encounter a Upart that challenges our understanding of ancient technology, the Shaar cylinder, also known as the Baghdad Battery. This artifact has baffled archaeologists and scientists since its discovery. This small ceramic container, barely 13 centimeters high, contains a copper cylinder, an iron bar and traces of bitumen. At first glance, it appears to be a simple artifact, but its composition has led many to speculate about its true purpose. Its design suggests that it could be an old electric battery. The combination of these materials is similar to that of a modern battery, which has led some to believe that ancient Mesopotamians may have had advanced knowledge of electricity. The Shaar cylinder was discovered in 1930 by the German archaeologist Wilhelm Koenig. His discovery was revolutionary and generated a great debate in the scientific community about the possibility of ancient civilizations having access to technologies that were not thought possible at that time. Some researchers have made replicas of the Shaar cylinder and have managed to generate small amounts of electricity by filling it with an electrolyte such as vinegar. These experiments have shown that, in theory, the device could have functioned as a battery. If it really functioned as a battery, the question arises, what did the ancient Mesopotamians use it for? The theories are varied and fascinating. Some suggest that it could have been used for electroplating, a process of coating objects with a layer of metal using electricity. Others believe it could have had medicinal purposes, such as electrotherapy, which is used to treat various ailments. Be that as it may, the Shaar cylinder continues to be a Upart that invites us to rethink our knowledge about the technology of the past. This artifact reminds us that there is still much to discover about the capabilities and achievements of ancient civilizations. Each new discovery brings us a little closer to understanding the ingenuity and creativity of our ancestors. And that's it for our journey through the world of Uparts. As we have seen, these misplaced objects raise more questions than answers. Are they evidence that the story we have been told is incomplete, or are they simply misinterpreted objects, forgeries, or extraordinary coincidences? I hope you found this journey into the heart of the unknown as fascinating as I did. Don't forget to leave your comments with your own theories and opinions about the Uparts. The search for answers continues.